What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Heart of Hunting. 2024 Eastern Plains buck tag. Went out east, border of Colorado and Kansas. Took Sydney out for her first buck. We are glassing all these huge fields and prairies out here. We got a late start, opening day. Gunner and I got off shift at 8 in the morning. Ended up rushing out there as soon as we got off and started hunting right away. Dropped camp and took off. We spotted these does probably half a mile from the road. A lot of hunters out there. So we glassed them up, seeing if there was any bucks in there. Nothing. So then we just started walking to all these tree rows, looking for some bucks, seeing what we could see. Pretty slow, super windy. They say that the wind keeps all the deer from moving. I disagree, at least not out here. It was super windy. Deer were still up feeding and moving. So we were going to make the best of it and see what we could come up with. Sat on a couple of these tree bottoms here. There was probably deer in there. You just couldn't see them. And we didn't want to go in there and spook them out, so we just sat to see if they would move around. After a while, we started driving around, found a couple of cool spots. Later in the evening, we ended up finding a big water hole, and we were going to sit on that thinking, they'll come to water. Everything comes to water. So here's the water hole. Check it out.
Great watering hole behind us.
Yes.
We're gonna sit here tonight, I think, and just scope it out.
Is any tracks over there?
A little bit. It's mostly cow. But there's a couple deer tracks.
Good deal.
Yeah.
We left the water hole and started cruising around. We've got a bunch of different spots that we go to. We found these deer over a little two-tracker backed out. Seen a little buck with them. So we decided to sit on them for a little while and see if a bigger buck would come in. I don't think the rut has started yet. We've seen a lot of doe like this without big bucks. So I'm thinking, no, the rut hasn't started full on yet. So we sat on these doe for a little while. Seen a little buck in there. Asked Sydney if she wanted to take this buck. She wasn't sure. So we left it up to her on what she wanted to do. So we crawled to this cedar row, this windbreak or snowbreak that they have out there. There's a bunch of them. And we just watched them. And eventually she ended up getting within, I think it was 194 yards, and then ending up taking this buck. So here's some of the action. Check it out. It's so wide open out here, and the deer are really, really spooky. So we ended up having to crawl a lot. We crawl a lot out here anyway. We crawl hundreds of yards. Got knee pads on and leather gloves and cockaburs and thorns and everything else, cactus. So we end up pretty much belly crawling because they'll see you. They're skittish anyway. They're smart. So we just crawl into position and hope that they don't see us. And so far we've been lucky doing it this way. And trying to get Sydney comfortable on the shooting sticks and sitting up on her legs with her knees bent, legs falling asleep, and trying to get just comfortable so she'd have a good, clean shot. And that's the hardest part, is just getting on them. And you'll have buck fever no matter what. I still get buck fever. And I had it on Gunner's deer, and that was a whole debacle because I did not hit record on his shot, which just made me sick because it was perfect. It was clear. It was, I don't know. Buck fever sat in and I didn't hit the record button. So you'll see a little bit of that later. So we end up just having her watch all the deer and trying to get comfortable in her position and getting the gun up and crosshairs on the deer and having her rest her legs, because sitting there for so long, everything falls asleep. So we don't want her muscles all tense. We want her to have a nice clean shot. She did super, super good. So proud of everything, just the crawling and the painstaking hundreds of yards crawling to get to these deer. She did excellent. So here's a little bit on that. Then they decide to move. They were moving right where these deer were. Then they decided to move left again. So then we had to reposition everything and then move stuff out of the way and get her set back up and then get back on the buck and make sure it was the buck. So here's the action on that. Check it out.
Yep. That one? Yep. See that one? Yep.
She smoked it. Excellent shot. Such a good time. So hard to hunt these deer out here. Crawling, windy. She shot it with a 270, 130 grain, 194 yards. Good times.
Hold him up.
On to the next day. We spot a deer way on the horizon to the left. And we were parked up on the road, and it had 4 or 5 does with it. Nice buck. And we watched it run across all the milo fields and the cut corn, and we watched it probably for 45 minutes or so, and then it ended up coming down towards this tree bottom up here. And so we decided to make a move on it, drove down the road, opened the gate, drove in just a little bit, and then ended up walking and using the terrain, glassing left and right, up and down, making sure that we weren't spooking anything, that we're going to blow these other deer out, or if there was other bigger deer in the area. So we walked 20 feet, class, walked 20 feet, class. Then we got to a point to where we had to knee crawl probably another couple 100 yards, and just hoping that his does wouldn't see us. And then we ended up getting down within 200 yards of him. And it was just hit or miss if we were going to blow them out of there, if they were going to see us, if they were going to wind us. And it's exciting hunting out there, because you really have to spot and stalk these deer, because early we get up at 4:30 in the morning. Breakfast, coffee, and then head out the door, and we'll sit in the pitch black up on a spot just glassing, because then they're starting to move. And then once daybreak hits, they're heading to cover and bedding, and then they don't move all day, so it's hard to find them. And we ended up watching this one bed. So once we got him bedded, we started the stalk. At this point, we're 350 yards from them. We spot the doe. The deer comes in, or the buck comes in behind her. And you'll see when he beds, they're so hard to see. And I mean antler tips. And with all the sticks and the branches and everything, it's just so hard to find him. And you'll watch him. He'll put his head down and rest his chin on the ground. Every once in a while, he'll pop up, look over the log, look around. And good thing for us, there's like a little knoll where he's at. It's just like a little hill there. And the doe end up bedding on the far side. So then we couldn't see them, so they couldn't see us. But we had to watch out for him. They say deer see in slow motion, so we just stopped when he'd look and not move at all. We got within 200 yards. We were trying to make our way down to this little corral that had wooden slats on it, and we actually made it. We got lucky. So we ended up making it down to this corral and then set up from there. So check out this stock. Unfortunately, I had buck fever, and I didn't hit record, and I didn't get the kill shot. But we got a lot of footage of him just kind of sitting there and chilling while we were making our stock. So I hope you guys enjoy. Here's the corral that we needed to make it to. We had to belly crawl. I think it was another 200 yards to get to the edge of the corral. So we were like, well, we'll give it a shot. If they spook, we'll just see where they go. Try to find them from there. But we got lucky.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do? I don't know. He's got his head down.
You a play-by-play of what happened here. So I can't see the deer from here. He's behind that big tree. Gunner can see his antlers. And there's just a little opening between the trees where he's bedded. He's to the left and his does are to the right. And I could just kick myself in the butt 10 times for not recording this because it was just so perfect. God, so annoying. I know several people probably do it, but golly, the memories, it's just not recorded. Makes me mad. Anyway, this opening here, you can see it between the big fork tree there and the small tree. He eventually gets up and walks, stands broadside right in there, perfectly broadside. Gunner just smokes him. He didn't go 10 yards. So, yeah, play like play.
Get near.
We had to crawl on our hands and knees about 300 yards. What'd you say? 300 yards of trying to avoid the cactus.
Why are we crawling?
We're crawling to a deer. Big buck. That gun's hopefully gonna shoot.
Gunner shot, got the deer down. I'm walking behind him here looking through the footage to see if I could find it. Could not find it, so disappointing. But got him down. Got the truck down in there. Loaded him up, took him back to camp. Hung him, quartered him. Good times. So proud of these guys. I had a tag. Didn't use it. More for the adventure for the kids to enjoy. And just excellent times. So fun. I love it. Just love it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos as hunting season comes around. Thanks again.